Bill, our next guest says a new spending is a big boost for some specific companies. And the smaller the industry, the larger the impact will be, with names like Caterpillar, American Tower, Cisco, Blink, and ChargePoint among those that could benefit the most. So let's bring in Dan Clifton. He is the head of policy research at Strategas Research Partners. Dan, thank you so much for being here. I've been watching Bob Pisani all morning on our air, and he says, you know, this was priced into the market, right? The market knew this infrastructure bill was coming. We knew it had the votes to pass. Now it passes, but you're saying there are still specific companies that can benefit from all that spending. How is that possible?
Yeah, I would disagree with the analysis that this is all priced in. You know, you had a big rise in these stocks as the Democrats won the Georgia election in January. They went up for about 2 months, and they've really been underperforming since the month of March because, as you know, and you've covered it so well, there's been a lot of wrangling over whether this bill is going to pass, how it's tied to the larger bill. And so now you're just starting to see the momentum build into the stocks. And I'll tell you, Eamon, we've done an infrastructure bill in 2009, 2012, and 2015, and you usually get a pop around the bill passing and then a pop as investors begin to reprice the earnings impact as that new spending starts to take effect. That is a very critical point because if you look at the stocks that are levered up to this spending, they usually outperform over the next 6 to 8 months after the bill passes into law. And we're really just at the beginning of that process itself. And as you know, this bill is larger than our traditional infrastructure bills that we did in 2012 and 2015. So this is likely going to have a bigger impact. It's really going to have a bigger impact in some of these smaller industries.
So give us some
names,
Dan.
Traditional highway spending that Bob's been talking about.
Yeah, give us some names. Who do you think is really going to benefit here?
Yeah, sure. If you go through highways, we like Marietta, Martin Marietta, MLM. You know, that's a traditional highway spend. But as you get deeper into the bill, you've got water. We're going to do $55 billion of incremental spending on water. Ticker symbol like Aqua is a good name to think about that will benefit from that, as well as Mueller water products as we start to think about lead pipes. Then you think about the charging stations that are in here for electric vehicles, ChargePoint, Blink, EVgo, they're going to be beneficiaries of this. Then you think about electric buses, a company like Fuel Cell Technology or Plug. He was on CNBC yesterday, the CEO of that company, talking about how big this bill is going to be for them. And then you got broadband. You mentioned Cisco before. They're going to benefit. Maybe the cable providers, maybe the tower operators that do 5G. I think there's going to be enough of this money to go around, and you're going to hear that. The state highway transportation officials are just actually sitting there thinking, wow, we're going to get all this money if the bill passes. And as you know, we may still be another month or two away from that bill passing. But this is a pretty historic investment for the companies that are going to benefit from this new spending.
Dan, how do you look at this differentially across the different sectors, right? I mean, you're talking about sort of traditional highways being built and also electric charging stations and whatnot. Do you see a competitive advantage here for one sector over the other? Does electric benefit more than the traditional cement guys and the building industries? Who's the big winner here sector-wise?
Absolutely. Listen, I think the highway cement names, the traditional, what we call highway infrastructure names, I think they're going to benefit. But look at the way steel stocks have been performing. Cleveland Cliffs and Nucor Steel, the market is starting to price in that increased demand for them. So they're still going to benefit. I don't want to take anything away from them. But we're going to do something new this time, Eamon. We're going to do grid spending. We're going to actually upgrade the U.S. electrical grid to be able to incorporate a lot of this electrification. So companies like Eaton will be beneficiary of that, or a company like Quanta Services, ticker PWR. They are going to be able to get the contract work to upgrade these types of power systems in the electrical grid. And that is new spending. And that's why we think that they're probably going to be a larger beneficiary of them than, say, the traditional construction engineering names that usually benefit around a highway infrastructure bill.